Hello and welcome back to another episode of White Album 2. We are playing through the closing chapter on Koharu's route. Koharu's really going through a rough time with all the rumors flying around school.
というわけだ。ついては段取りについて来週打ち合わせがあるから、追って連絡を待つように。
ちょっと待ってください。
めったにないことなんだぞ。生徒会経験者でもない人間が選ばれるというのは名誉なことじゃないか。
そんな、私そんなことどうしうわ、何それ。さすがすわ、最高のネタ師。ダメ、もうダメ。お腹痛い。できません。そんな、私なんか無理です。
どういう意味だ。
それは前期生徒会長の堀田さんが適任だと思うから。
職員会議でもう決まったことだ。それを断るというのはどういう意味だと聞いている。
どういう意味だって、お前の方が意味不明じゃねえか。
Aww.
やっぱあれだろう、また諏訪が無理やりねじ込んできたとしか。堀田のクラスの担任2年目の友松だし。空気読め諏訪、アホかあいつは。まずい時にエゴひいきされたよな。
とにかくちゃんとした理由がないと認められない。一体どういうことだ。言ってみろ。
それ
大した理由がないのなら却下だ。何しろ前回一致で決まったんだぞ。今さら覆せるか。
諏訪先生。
なーに、そんなに遠慮することはない。もっと堂々と構えてればいいんだ。何しろクラスの、いや卒業生全員の代表なんだからな。
あれが代表だってさ、一体何のよ。そこまでして目立ちたいかね。あの子のやることマジわけわかんない。
Do they literally not see that she's trying to refuse right now? Like, are they just... Ugh. I hate bullies.
優等生演じるってのも大変だよね。全然登場しないけど。何聞かせてくれるんだろう。3年間でぶち壊してカップルの数とかやってくんないかな。それある意味すっごい楽しみ。
おい、静かにしろ。まったく朝から落ち着きがないな。もうすぐ卒業なんだぞ、お前らは。
誰のせいだっちゅうんで。ああ、もうふざけんなバカ。抑えろって高弘。お前今揉めていいことなんか何もないぞ。
ね、ちょっと。何？ほら向こう、大学の正門とこ、うちの制服着てる。あの人確か3年の。ああだよね。やっぱりあの人だよね。よかった、見間違いじゃなかったんだ。相手がうちの大学の人って噂、本当だったんだ。
いや、ほんと助かった。語学系はなかなかノート揃わなくてさ。
いい加減多学部にまで借りに来るのはやめろ。
The call I received around the time before the date changed last night had an unusually friendly request of bring your French notes with you tomorrow, Haruki.
お前が勝手に転部するから悪いんだろ。おかげで俺の成績にどれほどの悪影響が出たか真面目に考えたことあるのか。
Of course, that's the only thing he's thinking about.
まずは試験を自分の実力で受けることを真面目に考えろ。
I pressed the answer button without looking at the caller and froze for a few seconds. But that's another story.
さてと、 今日これからどうする？
帰ってすぐに勉強に決まってるだろ。
なんという模範的で面白くない回答。相変わらず大学生らしくないな。
つい今しがたまで随分と無駄な時間を浪費させてもらったからな。
There's a big queue at the photocopier we went to after the exam ended, and I let out a big sigh knowing that queuing up would only be detrimental to me.
無駄な時間なら浪費してもいいじゃん。何言ってんのお前。
なあ、お前就職関係をわざとミスリードすんのやめろ。俺が紛らわしい言い方したみたいじゃないか。
いや実際紛らわしかったんだって。礼と詫びの意味で晩飯おごろうと思ってたんだけどな。
Oh, that's kind.
じゃあ貴重な時間を浪費に言い直す。飯は試験終わってからに取っとくわ。
土日空いてんだから今日くらいいいだろ。軽く飲まね。
俺はどっちかっていうと来週からが本命なんだよ。まだ9科目残ってるし、月曜なんか3科目だぞ。
お前もうとっくに卒業できる単位数揃えてるだろ。あとは趣味の世界だよなそれ。
なんとでも言え。とにかく今から月曜の朝までずっと勉強。出なきゃ各方面に申し訳が立たん。
This is particularly related to a certain someone who frantically and desperately tried to remain cheerful, despite the fact that her tone immediately dropped the moment she realized I wasn't coming to work on the weekend. That's right. Perhaps I could study at Goodies this weekend, and then we could take a short, leisurely walk on our way home before getting on the train. She'd lecture me with, the restaurant isn't a place for studying, and happily reprimand me if I'd made that suggestion, wouldn't she?
あと1週間か。早く終わんねえかな。
そうだな。
Now that I think about it, the reason why Sugiura Koharu didn't appear on my phone's display around the usual time she'd call last night is because I was busy with another call. I wonder if it's because she got tired of waiting and fell asleep, or if she's fed up with calling me every night. Or perhaps something exciting happened at school such that she didn't need to hear my voice anymore. Well, whatever the reason, it's fine. So long as it's not the opposite of what I just thought, anything would be, oh yeah, goodness forbid it's the opposite.
そういやさお前、来週のせつなちゃんとこのパーティーは行くのか？
お前んとこにも誘い来たのか？
二人っきりが良かったか？
何言ってんだ。もともと家族が一緒だろ。
お嬢さんを俺にくださいをやるつもりだったのかなって。
バカなこと言うな。
I'm feeling slightly giddy over the fact that I was thinking about a short moment ago really isn't matching the conversation I'm having with Takeya.
俺とイオもお邪魔させてもらうことになってる。何しろせつなちゃんの手料理だぜ。主賓がケーキ焼く誕生パーティーってのもなんだけど。
そっか。
来るよな、春樹。断る理由ないだろ。何しろこれで本当にただのホームパーティーだ。
No, I just think that ex-girlfriends who you have incredible baggage with, maybe you shouldn't be going to their family birthday party, especially when the family still thinks you're dating.
竹よ。
I don't know who exactly came up with this idea, but I know that it probably wasn't Setsuna. I don't know who planned such an event that would be so convenient for me to participate in, and thus very difficult for me to refuse.
旅行の相談とかもしたいしな。お前予定がないとすぐバイト入れちまうから。楽しみだな、春休み。4年になったら遊ぶ暇なんかないだろうし、今のうちに遊びだめしとこうぜ。
And that just so happens to be the break you promised you'd spend time with Koharu during.
春休みか。
Lovely. After my exams are over, after my life as a third-year student comes to an end, once winter is over, where do I go? And who should I convey my feelings to? What a dumb question. Who will I end up hurting? And what will I end up destroying in the process?
竹谷
As I was momentarily lost in my own thoughts while looking downward, I'd walked past Takeya before I knew it. Rather, what specifically happened was that Takeya suddenly stopped in his tracks, and he's now dumbfoundedly staring in the direction of the main gate while standing still.
なんだよ竹谷一体どうし
The moment I followed Takeya's gaze, the same expression forms on my face. That's not all. The same happens on the face of the person who's within our line of sight. She stares at us with the same look of bewilderment, and after that, she looks around her as if she'd just been robbed of her composure. And finally, her expression changes to one that suggests she's about to cry. I can detect her anxiousness, sorrow, and confusion even from afar. And I can feel the same expression creeping onto my face as well. Why is she here?
よー、小春ちゃんじゃん。なに俺に会いに来てくれたわけ？
Having noticed her first, Takeya's demeanor changed just a moment before mine did. Regardless of whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, he ended up covering up what would have been a fatal mistake on my part.
こんなとこで寒かったでしょ。電話くれればすぐ迎えに行ったのに。
It's true. If she'd just given me a call, I would have immediately. And to think, there were many far more appropriate methods that she could have opted for, rather than appearing here in such a conspicuous place and having Takeya notice her.
でもここで会うの久しぶりだよね。最初ほら、すっごい勢いでこっちに睨んでてさ。
違うんです。違うんですよ。
As she tries her hardest to respond to Takeya's words, her gaze is desperately appealing to me. Her eyes are probably trying to convey the same thing her words are. They're trying to tell me that it's not like that and I never had the intention to do this. It's just that the meaning behind her words is completely different from what she's actually saying.
俺らに用事じゃなかったの？
だから用なんて何もないんです。ただ気がついたらこんなところに。
Takeya included me in his list of choices before I knew it, but regardless of how skillful his attempt at probing her is, Koharu's just incapable of reading it right now.
誰か別の人でも待ってる？
ないです。ごめんなさい。
いや、謝ることないけどさ。むしろ俺たちとしては偶然でも嬉しいなって。
After all, the person who can't understand the reason for her actions the most happens to be herself. That's what I can sense from her.
そうだ。用がないなら小春ちゃんも一緒に来ない？俺たち今から晩ご飯食べに行くとこだったんだ。試験が折り返し地点に来た打ち上げも兼ねて。
いいです。ごめんなさい。本当に何の用もなかったんですから。
I haven't agreed to anything, and you shouldn't count your chickens when we're only half done with our exams. I usually wouldn't have been able to resist forcing my sermon onto him after a line like that.
用事ないならいいじゃん。男二人だけが嫌ならイオも呼ぶからさ。
Like I said, I never agreed to anything.
いえ。帰ります。
そう？残念だな。せっかく明日休みだからゆっくり遊べるのに。
先輩たち試験期間中じゃないですか。ゆっくり遊んでたらダメじゃないですか。
言いたいとこつかないでよ。さっき春樹に同じこと言われたばかりだ。
そうですよ。暇なんかないんですよ。
And Koharu lowers her gaze, now at a loss for words. It's as if she's been gravely wounded by the very words she just said.
さよなら。お疲れ様でした。
そう。またね。試験終わったらお店の方行くから。
Haruki, why haven't you said a single word?
お待ちしてます。それじゃ。
あ、ごめん。すっかり忘れてた。
Haruki?
This is bad. I have to make things seem coherent.
悪い。完全に俺のチョンボ。彼女、本当は俺と待ち合わせだったんだ。
Haruki?
Whether it's in response to Koharu's behavior, to the fact that she's here now, or to her current emotions.
違います。私、先輩を待ってなんか。
小春ちゃん？
確かに大遅刻した俺が悪いんだけど、そうやっていつまでもむくれないでくれ。
先輩。
My brain, which should have been exhausted by the exam in the morning, regains its composure almost immediately. It really wasn't immediate. It took you quite a while.
先週のバイトの時約束したんだよ。うちのキャンパスを案内するって。
I accept my current circumstances and internally readjust my priorities. And with it, I come up with the most suitable scenario.
先月、高弘くんを案内したことを話してたら、自分も見てみたいって、そういう流れになってさ。
I was the one Koharu was waiting for, obviously. But that's only because her senior, from both her part-time job and the university she's going to attend, happens to be the same person. He also happens to be the boyfriend of her classmate's older sister. You're really not, though. Man, I hope I'm not the only one that thinks this, but they're just not dating at this point. They really aren't. We promised to meet each other at the main gate after school ended on Friday, and left work uneventfully afterward. And so, today happens to be Friday. Koharu had arrived on time as promised, whereas I've been hanging around the school grounds with Takeya, having forgotten this rather trivial promise I've made with my junior. Of course, we couldn't even contact one another, given that we've never even exchanged phone numbers before. And after waiting for me for more than an hour, she then saw the person who made that promise brazenly walking out without feeling even slightly nervous. Koharu got really mad as a result and acted as if she never made that promise with me to begin with. What a series of lies. It's not even just a small lie. Haruki thinks about these lies in such detail. I think that's why he always gets himself into trouble.
いや、本当にごめん。この通り。少し遅くなったけど、今からでも案内させてくれないかな。晩飯おごるから、学食だけど。
Koharu's gaze is wavering. And Takeya's gaze doesn't even have the slightest hint of suspicion. You might want to get your radar checked, Haruki, because Takeya's not stupid. He knows exactly what's going on. Because the intense glint in his eyes suggests that he's gone past merely finding me suspicious and is now convinced that I'm lying. There you go.
行こう。タケヤ、そういうわけで悪いけど。
Haruki.
But I can't afford to falter in that right now. I can only push forward and act as if what I'm saying is the truth. See, but here's the thing. Why the heck did he have to lie? He could have just been said like, oh, Koharu, you look really upset. Do you want to go for a walk? Hey, sorry, I'm gonna just go for a walk with her and find out what's up. That's all it would have taken. Why does he always have to lie?
さあ、ほら、行くよ。
先輩。
じゃあな、タケヤ。また電話するから。
なあ、Haruki。来週のパーティー、ちゃんと来いよ。
I couldn't bring myself to turn toward Takeya in response to his rather miserable tone when he said that, only lightly raising my hand in response. I lightly push Koharu's back as we head back to where I just came from, into the university. I'm turning my back on my friend. I can only concentrate on directly walking toward the darkness where I can't see what lies beyond. I'm doing this because I absolutely can't leave Koharu alone here right now. I can only believe in that intuition.
先輩って時々怖いです。
どこが？
いつもはバカがつくくらい正直なのに、嘘をつくときはそうじゃないから。
If you're calling Haruki honest, you have a lot to learn about him.
そうかな。
最初はほら、おみそ先輩のことを一緒に探してたとき、お店の人とか幹事の人を脅して。
あったな、そんなこと。
That was the day when I accepted Koharu's dedication to meddle with my problems for the first time.
よくあんな口から出まかせが次から次へと出ますね。友達相手に。全部私のせいなのに。
ひどいよな、俺。
It's times like this where I realize the painful truth. I'm an absolutely preposterous liar. I talk about wanting to be honest with the people that are important to me while also being able to deceive them without batting an eyelid.
ひどいのは私です。ごめんなさい。
何が？
ごめんなさい。
Goodness me.
待つって約束だったのに。ごめんなさい。
We're currently in an exam period, and it's currently evening.
先輩の試験が終わるまで我慢するって自分で言ったのに全然守れなくなっちゃって。
But there's still quite a number of people walking in front of us as usual.
気がついたらあそこにいたんです。本当にそんなつもり全然なかったんです。
分かってるって。
分かってないです、先輩。だって私今嘘ついてる。
小春、
あんなところで待ってたらみんなに見られる。飯塚先輩にも水沢先輩にも、もしかしたらおみそ先輩にだって。そのこと気づいてないわけじゃなかった。気づいててそれでも来たんです。余計にたちが悪いんです。
Koharu, this is not your fault. This is Haruki's fault. The fact that Haruki wants to make you the side girl, because he can't just tell people that he's broken up with Setsuna. He can't just make a decision and go through with it. This is completely Haruki's fault.
それは嘘じゃないって。
嘘ですよ。ひどい裏切りです。それも先輩に対しての。
It's not a lie. It's just her inability to make a decision. It's just that her desires overpowered her expectations of the consequences of her actions by the slightest margin.
なあ、小春。
I can't say I can completely understand what's in Koharu's heart, though.
今からどこ行こうか。
先輩。
嘘から出た誠でキャンパス案内してもいいし、約束通り学食で晩飯をおごってもいい。いや、ファミレス程度なら外に出ても構わない。
So let's go to Goodies.
先輩。
だから泣くなって。せめて二人きり以外の時は。
Goodness me.
ごめんなさい。すいません。
Haruki's not even gonna ask why she's crying. He's not even gonna be like, hey, what's wrong? Are you okay? We're currently in an exam period and it's currently evening.
ほら、もっとこっち寄っていいから。
But there's still quite a number of people walking in front of us as usual.
失礼します。
Why am I patting the head of a girl who's wearing our high school's uniform in full view of the surrounding crowd? And all while I'm hugging her shoulder at that.
少し落ち着くまでここにいるか。
大丈夫ですから。これ以上ここにいると先輩の迷惑になるし。
Despite having said that, she hasn't lifted her head off my shoulder.
じゃあどこに行く？どこでも案内するぞ。
本当にどこでもいいんですか？
まあ近場なら。
近いです。歩いて行けるはずです。
そっか。行き先決まってるならそろそろ行こうか。
ごめんなさい。最初に謝っておきます。
だからもう今までのことは。
今までのことじゃなくて、たった今先輩を騙したことに。
遠いの？
The innocent lie.
いえ、そっちじゃなくて行き先の方。
As Koharu said that, she slowly lifted her head that was resting on my shoulder. And then, to prevent anyone else from hearing it, she inches her mouth to my ear so close that I could feel her breath.
先輩の部屋。思った通り綺麗に片付いてますね。
Oh, I'm just so happy to see her smile again.
まあ最低でも週に2回は掃除してるし。
あ、でも食材は結構入ってる。一人暮らしの男の人ってビールばっかりって聞いてたけど。
誰に聞いたんだよ。
お風呂場もちゃんと洗ってある。しかも水洗いじゃなくてちゃんと洗剤使って。
そこは週1回くらいだけど。小春？
結構夜景綺麗。でもここ寒い。それにエアコンの室外機の音が。
小春、落ち着けって。それに小春の言う通り寒いから閉めて。
Though she said it's cold outside, her forehead is drenched with sweat.
いつまでも立ってないで。まず座って。
Why did she have to end up being so nervous, just like I expected her to be? She's making me nervous too, at this rate.
お邪魔します。
She just realized that she hasn't performed the usual etiquette that she'd normally never forget to do, which made her blush in embarrassment. Yes, whenever you enter someone else's house, you are supposed to say, like, excuse me for the rudeness, like she just did. But you're supposed to do it before you exit the shoe area.
いや、そこは。
Things would have been alright if it ended at that, but she didn't notice the cushion I prepared in front of the table, and ended up sitting on my bed. A huge mistake. It's not a huge mistake, it really isn't. Koharu flushed a bright red that reached her ears and lowered her gaze, making even me embarrassed this time.
先輩。
なんだよ。
何しましょう。
何って。
We're acting like a middle schooler couple. I don't remember things transpiring this awkwardly during my first experience, though.
先輩の好きなことでいいんですけど。
Wait, why am I even comparing what's happening right now to what happened during my first time? Am I hoping for the same thing that happened 3 years ago right now? Oh, Haruki, you naive little boy. Alright, we'll go ahead and stop there for today. Thank you so much for being here with me on this part of Koharu's route, and I'll be back to you with more shortly. Until then, I hope you take care. See you!